What's going on, true believers? It's your man Believes. Guys, the market has moved way up. We're at 2.5 trillion. That's up 6% on the previous day on a volume of 150 billion. But that money was still moved over. So be paying attention. This might be a false up that we're going to pay for at some point. This morning, the market is continuing to soar. If you look at Polygon, it's up 26% in 24 hours. Crypto.com is up 18%. Terra is up 13%. Avalanche is up 11%. Cardano is up 10%. Bitcoin's up 5%. Ethereum's up 7%. There's a lot going on right now. So this is not financial advice, but I am always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, the market's at 2.5 trillion, 24-hour volume is 150 billion. I just warned you to pay attention and watch what's happening in the market. Be aware, use your trading view, look at Cypher B. Make sure that you understand when things are overbought and oversold, because it's going to make a tremendous amount of difference right now. There's a lot going on in the market. If you look right here at Ethereum looks way overbought. If you look at Bitcoin, it looks way overbought. Cardano, way overbought. Matic, way overbought. XTZ, way overbought. Shiba, way overbought. Kuma is the exception, it looks like. Aave is way overbought. Anchor, way overbought. Avalanche, way overbought. You get the idea here. The sentiment is basically that the market is way overbought at this point at 2.5 trillion. So there's going to be a little bit of a dip and a correction that's coming up this morning. Bigger news, Saitama had a nice big run up overnight, going from a low of 35 all the way up to 5,000, which was good enough for a pretty big increase on the day. It was announced that Bitmart, who had been hacked the other day, they're now fixing the situation, that they're going to be doing an enormous amount of buyback on some of the tokens that were dumped in the last couple of days, which will lead to a massive run up on Saitama. Plus, the Saitamask, which was at 55%, is now at 75% with Certic, which means that it is almost completed. That was 20% in one day. Russ even said there would be a moment where you would see that 35%, which it was at 4 days ago, is just the start, and that most of the stuff is already done. So here we sit. Things are looking really good. If you're looking for a play, Saitama might not be a bad play right about now. Just to pack your bag just a little bit and get some of that up, because Saitamask, if you're going back here, Saitamask is what led them to that high of 1698, where they dropped to zero just recently. So when you look at where you are right now, you're talking about a 4x just to get back to that all-time high from a month ago. So should feel good about that. Moving on. All right, HokkFi, I keep hearing good things. I keep hearing great things coming out of the HokkFi camp, but it has not yet translated to a big upward movement. However, I feel like that moment's coming very soon. I think the market cap here is just way off. I think the number of hodlers here is just way off. I don't understand the mechanics of why this thing is not looking the way that it should. Mike, I need somebody to contact me. Maybe we can figure out what's going on here, or maybe we can get with Uniswap, figure out what's going on, because some of these numbers are just weird and don't feel like they're adding up correctly. There is way more than 4,200 hodlers. Something is awkward. So let's see if we can figure that out. Moving on. All right, guys, when I talk about Sanshu, I'm usually talking about another big up, and guess what happened? Going from 2,500 or 2,487 all the way up to 3,000. That's 600 points. 600 points off of 24 means there's a 25% increase in the last few hours if you bought that bottom at 25. Now, guys, that is an opportunity. Remember, we did this at 27 over here. Took a little bit longer, but it ranged up to around 32. So if you're day trading, if you're doing a swing right now, this would be about the time where I would take my profit and see what it does. There's not going to be any harm if it continues to move. If it continues to move and you feel confident with that move, then be a great opportunity to get back in. But remember, we do our peaks and we do our valleys. We do our peaks, we do our valleys. There's a peak. Here's the valley. You might be on a peak because this is a descending channel that's happening right here before that big liftoff. So don't get wrecked. Don't get mad because you lost. Make sure that you do the right thing. Make the right play here. Moving on. All right, guys, Floki's trading at 14,703. That's up 17% to the previous day. There was a really big up that happened up here, taking it up to about 16. And I say really big. That's not really big for Floki anymore. We probably need to set our standard just a little bit higher when we're talking about Floki. But we got up to about 16.90, and then a cascade of Chads wrecked it down to 14,144, and now it's on the build back up. There's a marketing announcement that's coming in a few hours. That is usually a good sign, and it does lead to a nice run up. But guys, if you go back here and you look around, when you see these little dips right here, they are usually followed by an enormous lift, and that's the strength of the Floki team. So if you are seeing this and not making money off of it or not seeing the opportunity in it, you're probably making a mistake. And if you don't have a bag packed in it, you should really do that. This one's going to be one for the ages. It's a $1.2 billion market cap. $30 billion market cap is 30x from here, so 25x from here. But it's going to be a massive run up at some point. And if you go back and you check on what Floki has done all of this time, I would never bet against them. Moving on. All right, guys, if you're here for Saitama, I covered Saitama at the beginning of this video. You're going to go back here. We're at 48.86. That's up 21% to the previous day. That previous day was right around here when it started, though, and it cascaded down to around 3,400 before rushing way back up and going over 5,200 earlier in the... at 3 a.m., it looks like we hit that high for that period of time. So that everybody knows, Saitama has been updated to 75% completed. So that is out of the way. Bitmart has said that they are going to do a buyback of the 600 trillion. They didn't give absolute answers, by the way, but they did give some answers that they are working with everybody to make that happen. Today was going to be one of those days where they were going to start. And it was very important for them because of the amount, because of the involvement with Saitama. I believe that they are going to make that one right pretty quickly. So when you start seeing a whole bunch of Bitmart buys coming in, remember, I told you this was going to happen. And if you didn't get your bag in at that point, that's your fault. Moving on. All right, Kishu, yesterday we were talking about when is Kishu going to make that move? When is that move going to happen? And guess what? Kishu's up 34% to the previous day. Guys, imagine this. If you had $10,000 in right now, you'd be up $3,400 on the day. You'd be able to take $3,400 out, leave your $10,000 bag in there, and you would be able to make a couple more plays on a couple more tokens if you had played this right. Now, that doesn't mean I want you pulling out of Kishu. You're going to need that money to be in there for that big lift to that next level. But that next level is way up here. You still got a little bit of time. That's a 4x from where it is right now. So the time absolutely exists. I'm not even sure if that's the all-time high. That's just the high most recent. So there's plenty of opportunity. This descending channel has gone down, and then there's a big up. The descending channel went down. There's a medium up right here. So if you take this right here and you look at this right here, you might be seeing there's another leg to go on this. So that's your decision. But you're up 34% on the day if you made the play at the right time. Always take your profit on the way up. Wait for the next dip and get yourself back in. Moving on. All right, StarLink troopers, I know what the problem is. I know exactly what it is right now. You guys are trading at 41.45. That's up 13% to the previous day. But I know and you know that we're looking to drop a zero. And in order to do that, we're going to need another announcement about the game. We're going to have to see some more action with this game. We're going to have to maybe get to a point where there's at least more alpha stuff coming out so that people are seeing it. We need some more previews. We need to see things start to trend. When you get these rankings of the metaverse, you're not seeing StarLink on there yet, even though you know and I know this is one of the hottest games that's out there. And I think that what's happening is people are not looking at it because they don't know about it. So probably needs a little bit of an ad campaign. little bit of recognition. Shahid is doing a great job. Warp Nexus is an amazing game, but we have to put that connection together so that people are understanding what it is that's going on. And I think a little bit of marketing behind that would be a great thing and would send this project to the stratosphere. Now, interest in the metaverse has been a little bit down for the last few days, but you're starting to see it peak back up. So I think somebody should get some marketing out there now. Moving on. All right, Kuma, from a down of 1,500, you guys are up on the overnight. There was a big spike back up to 1,800. Now at 1,500, that's a 20% increase on the day. It's showing 24-hour, a 9% increase because that goes back to whatever period of time it was back over here yesterday morning, which was in the 16. So you're not seeing that big up. But if you bought this bottom right here, then you had a nice little lift and a nice little profit that you made. It looks like that might be a trend on the way back up. But here's what you have to look at. When you see something like that and you see consolidation from that period on and up, then it generally trends to lead to another down. So if you're looking for a buy opportunity, you're not buying on the high to begin with, so you're going to be fine. But if you're looking to get that little extra in, then this chart says that there's probably going to be just a little bit more of a dip here before we see another one of these big candles start to develop. And that big candle's coming very shortly, and you're going to see it again. Now, there's information coming out on Shiba and Kuma seem to ride side by side. So make your decision based upon the information. Do your own research. Moving on. All right, BossToken, you're up 5% to 1342 on the day. That's a little bit of improvement from the previous day. Obviously, you're expecting a little bit more. Boss Track is still on track. Some people have started a little FUD campaign, and it's the nicest of compliments when you start to see a FUD campaign against your token. Zero waiting has disappeared. He's selling everything. There's all kinds of different things that have been coming out over the last bunch of days, but guess what? He's not disappeared. He's not selling off. None of that stuff is accurate. This is just a FUD campaign from people, and it's from these people up here. It's the people who don't understand how to buy a dip, how to play crypto. It's the people that got wrecked. Now, I don't want to see anybody get wrecked in crypto, but in order for the transfer of money from one hand to another, there has to be someone who gets wrecked so that someone else makes money. Now, generally, that's the people that have the most. That's kind of the way that it works. But the ideal principle here is that you continue on a completely upward trajectory, and that's just not how it works. So the FUD that you're hearing right now, the complaints that you're hearing right now, the crying that you're hearing right now comes from these guys up here that are getting wrecked because they bought the top and not the dip. So don't worry about that. You guys are in a dip right now. It's a perfect opportunity to buy. Once you've gone through it a little bit, you're up to 14,000 holders, by the way. That's 4,000 more than there were just a couple of days ago. Guys, there continues to be an accumulation of hodlers, and the whales are going to come back around, and this thing's going to happen all over again, and you're going to quick 4x. When you get that quick 4x, that's not even including Boss Track. When Boss Track starts to come around, you are going to start to see an even more massive run-up because it's a great product. And I used it again yesterday. So, guys, you're in a great position. Just don't lose your position. Make sure that you continue to accumulate. Make sure you continue to hodl, and things are going to look really good really soon. Moving on. All right, guys, I don't want to get off on a rant here. Mute your expectations just a little bit for the end of this year. Bitcoin right now is trading at about 51,000. Ethereum is trading at about 4,400 right now. That's up big over the previous day. Solana, 198.50. Cardano is on the swing upward to $1.43. Terra continues to just absolutely soar. It is up another 13% on the day. There's plenty of things. There are plenty of great things. As you go down the list, you're starting to see it. Like, are we seeing the start of altcoin season because you saw this massive run up? Well, the answer to that is actually no, because we saw a massive sell-off just the other day. We're going to know that we're in altcoin season when you look at this chart again tomorrow and you see another 10, 15, 20, 30% increase on these top 100s. That's when you're going to know that you're starting to enter that altcoin phase. All of these tokens that are sitting here right now, they're just gaining back what they lost over the last couple days. So don't get yourself twisted when you're thinking about what it is that's going on in this market. This market is not hitting altcoin season yet. It's just fixing itself, because when you go and you look, Bitcoin is down 12%. It's not an altcoin, so we're not really worried about that too much. But Cardano's down 10%. Polkadot, this is the 7-day number. Polkadot's down 22%. Avalanche is down 22%. The only one that's really up by any appreciable amount is Terra and Polygon. Then as you go down the list, you don't see a whole lot of big increases. So we're not in altcoin season. We're not going to be in altcoin season until you start to see those 7-day numbers start to go through the roof, because that's when the massive gains are starting to happen. There's $2.5 trillion in the market. Another $500 billion would get us in the right direction. Christmas is going to make it a little bit tough, but you know what? Who knows what's going to happen, other than the whales, I assume. But we're in a great position. You just got to hold on, hodl, make sure you buy dips, because you never know. One of these things is going to pop off. And here's something that's very important. Bitcoin dominance is down to 38.5%. Guys, that sits usually in the 40s. Bitcoin dominance is down to 38. ETH dominance is up to 20.7. We're starting to see even more and more and more on the upside to Ethereum. We've always talked about a flippening. Well, the flippening, we're at $517 billion market cap for Ethereum, and Bitcoin is down to $962 billion, which means that the flippening is happening before our eyes. There was a time not long ago when we were looking at Ethereum at around $400 billion, while Bitcoin was sitting at $1 trillion. So things are starting to change, and things are starting to shape up. So pay attention to what's going on. Watch this market. Understand there's going to be a lot of growth happening. And guess what? Gwei is down pretty low today, so get your bag packed. That's my time, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining.